Hello, and thank you for joining me for today's edition of Status Strength. The purpose of Status Strength is to provide you with some body movement that is mindful, to give you some suggestions for how you can connect with your body while you're performing the movements, and also to give you a little bit of exercise for the day. I'll start by saying I had a crazy day and my mind is very discombobulated, and I feel like it's really important. This class is really important for me because I'm not all here. And I started this program because I get very, very depressed. And it starts when I'm not all here. And I'm trying to just be with it instead of sinking into a depression. And I'm really struggling with it. So I'm going to keep going. But I guess my point is, I hope that I know that this program is helping me. And I'm going to be here every day because I know it's helping me. And if it can help you, I would be so delighted if you can join me on a regular basis. And if it doesn't, I sincerely hope that you will keep searching for something, for what you need in your life. Let's start on the back with mindful breathing. Inhaling into the belly, exhaling, allowing the belly to fall. This can be as active or as passive as you like. You can extend your legs, you could bend your knees, you might even try bringing the soles of your feet together. This morning, I introduced the idea of front internal energy lines, or lines of energy, and rear internal lines of energy. And perhaps that was part of what made me so discombobulated, because it occurs to me now. Let me describe those lines of energy. The front line of energy runs along either side of the nose, and these two lines, they're not quite on the center, but then they run along the collarbones to the outside of the breastbone, to that cartilage on the transverse abdominis, down to the pubic bones, down to the insides of the knees, to the insides of the ankles, insides of the feet, and then the lines of energy extend out through the big toe, second toe, and half of the third toe. So as we exhale, we're sending energy down the right and left internal line of energy. And it occurred to me before I started this class that you have a pretty much everything that makes you vulnerable is on that front internal energy line. Your face, your chest and heart, you feel that tightening in your chest, your stomach, your reproductive organs, your excretory or elimination, your organs of elimination and excretion are all on that middle line. And when we talk about connecting the mind with the body, when we come to certain areas of the body, perhaps it is true that we will find that some of them are more vulnerable, some of them may be a little harder to connect with. So I'm going to do my best. Exhaling, starting at the crown of my head, focusing on the right and left internal energy lines, running down and out through the ends of my middle 2.5 toes. And as I inhale, I'm drawing in energy from the ends of my middle 2.5 toes along the bottoms of my feet. along the inside lines of the backs of my legs, and it runs up to this both sides of the tailbone and all the way up either side of the spine. So we come from the spine, we inhale from the heels all the way up to the spine, and then we exhale, sending the energy down again. And we inhale, drawing new energy, and exhale. So it's almost as if the inhalation, it is a drawing of new energy, inspiration. We talk about inspire. Inspire is another word for respiration, for inhaling. So we take in hope, inspiration, we expand, we get a little bit bigger. We have to take a risk to do that. And as we exhale, we can come back to the hold. And as we inhale, could we do it again? And exhale, come back to it. I'm going to start my first exercise as a plain old sit-up because I want to emphasize how these internal lines work. If we inhale, we can think about extending the crown of the head away from the heel. As we exhale, I'm taking those front internal lines of energy and I'm just kind of crunching everything out my toes. And then I'm going to inhale, and as I inhale, the air fills and my body straightens and lengthens and widens. And then I exhale, and it shortens and contracts and closes. And I inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And on your next inhalation, allow your body to rest on the floor. One more exercise I want to do to emphasize these internal lines is simply a pelvic floor exercise. When we inhale, we want to inhale from the bottom to the top. But we're going to inhale, you're going to feel an expansion in the back part of the pelvic floor. And as we exhale, we can think about, I talked about closing, contracting. The pelvic floor closes and contracts. You can think about trying to pick up a marble on your exhalation with, trying to pick up a marble between your legs at that pelvic floor. So we're going to use that pelvic floor to pick up a marble as we exhale. So inhale, widen, lengthen, fill, exhale, narrow, contracting, lifting. I'm sorry. We're sending the energy down, but we're coming toward the center. So inhale, opening, widening, lifting. Exhale, drawing energy down and drawing energy into the center. And inhale. And exhale, draw energy in to the center of the body. And as we draw energy in, it's almost as if we pull the center of the chest and we pull the center of the abdominals together and we pull the center of the lower abdominals. And finally, we pull the center of the both sides of the pelvic floor. And that's how we pick up our marble. We'll do two more like that. Inhaling and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And then take another deep breath. Gently roll to one side. Interestingly, I do find that somewhat panic inducing. I have to think that that's something psychological that I don't understand. But I also feel like that's where this practice is so helpful. I don't have to understand it. I understand that I'm fearful. I'm understanding that it's difficult for me to connect. So I keep trying to do it very gently. I don't force anything. But I believe that that is how we begin to manage these feelings. I'm going to come to a standing position because standing postures help. They're very useful for emphasizing these internal lines. So I'm standing back just a little bit and I'm trying to get my whole body here, head and feet. So as we stand, take a look at your, or just feel the outside lines of your hips. You want them roughly straight up and down. They don't have to be perfect. Take a look at the inside lines of your feet. The inside lines of your feet should be roughly parallel. So the outside lines of your hips are roughly parallel, the inside lines of your feet, and that's as far as we're going to go with that. As we inhale, we're just going to lift the arms up. As we exhale, we're going to let the arms drop. So inhale and exhale. 2, 3, 4. Now, as we inhale, remember that rear internal line of energy. As we exhale, front internal line of energy. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fall. Contract, turn in. Inhale, lift, open, turn out. We're going to hold this so you can still exhale here, but I'm going to encourage you to bring your hands together, lace your fingers above your head. Take a nice deep breath again. Inhale up that rear internal energy line. As we exhale, we're sending the energy down the front internal energy line as we curve to the right. So my question for you, you can continue to breathe at your own pace, is have you forgotten your front internal energy line? I suspect that many of us may have forgotten about it. Feel your big toes. Each time you exhale, press into your big toes. Press into the tops of the arches. Keep the inside line of energy active as you exhale on both sides. So not just on the side that's bearing my weight, not just on the side that's stretching, on both sides. And as I inhale up the lines, the rear internal lines of energy on both sides. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale up. As you do so, reach up with your hands. Reach up, reach up, reach up, reach up, reach up, reach up. Come back to center. Exhale the arms back down. Take them up again. Give yourself a breath. Exhale back down. Inhale up again. Let's lace the fingers, maybe remembering to lace your non-dominant hand on top. If you remember what you laced first before, as we exhale, coming over to the side again. So wherever you are, if you're inhaling, we're aiming up with those riles. And if we're exhaling, we're grounding down with the riles. So I would suggest find a spot where you can connect. Maybe it's your feet. Can you push down and out through the top of your middle 2.5 toes? Can you draw up and in to the body? Draw up and into the body energy as you inhale. And as you exhale, send it back down. Send it inside. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, ground down. One more time. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale. Now get ready to lift. As we inhale, lift through the crown of your head. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale and release. I'm going to turn to the side to illustrate what I'm about to do, which is just a simple cat-cow, but in a standing position. So I'm going to exhale, pull the navel toward the spine. And as I do that, I'm directing down. I'm pulling the front to the back. I'm turning the sides in toward the internal lines in toward the center. Inhale, lengthen, expand, turn the internal lines away from each other. And then exhale, ground down, turn the internal lines toward each other. Notice how it forces you to engage the inner thighs, engage the chest, engage the feet. So we'll go faster here. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, lengthen down. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, lengthen down. Now just allow your lines to run from your pelvis to your shoulders. So from my pelvic floor to my neck, to the bottom of my neck. It's less to think about. Inhale again, fill. Exhale, pull the front to the back. Everything turns inward. Last time here, exhale. Now we're just going to do some little pulses here. Pull, 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 pull. Last 8, 7, 6. Can you engage your feet? 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and stand up tall. We're going to do a modified back bend, a very, very modified back bend. I'm going to have you bring your hands to your back pockets. And then as we inhale, again, we lengthen up. As we exhale, lift the chin. I will say lift the chin, but really what we're doing is lifting the head away from the back of the neck. And as we exhale, we're drawing everything down toward the floor. That is so not intuitive. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of the head. Keep lengthening through the neck. Exhale, lengthen, 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 but this time down through the front. Inhale, lengthen up the riles. Exhale, lengthen down the files. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale down. On this time, when we inhale, remember that inhalation is going to lift you and make you taller. Here we go. Inhale, lift, lift, make you tall, make it tall, make it tall, make it tall, make it tall. Maybe you noticed your head's pretty heavy. Most of us have a difficult time supporting the head with the neck because we don't do it very often. So that's why sometimes that's alarming. From here, we're going to take a nice deep breath, gently bend the knees, and we're going to come down forward into a forward bend. Now you can rest your hands on your shins. You can rest your hands on your knees. I was doing this earlier and I was wondering if people remember Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and when he goes to visit the heat miser. This reminded me of the heat miser. I'm saying this only to point out that you can relax your head. So even if you're bending your knees, you can relax your head and feel the weight of your head. Just feel it's a heavy head. Inhale, lengthen up the riles all the way up your back, all the way to the crown of your head. Exhale, extend down. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, extend down. So oftentimes when we're in these forward bends, we're kind of, I want to get my legs straight and I got to, push, push, push.
No, don't think about push, push, push. Think about lift, lift, lift. Lift up. Exhale, ground down through the front. Inhale, lift up. Engage your inner thighs. Exhale, ground down. 2 more. Inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. Now, as we inhale, here we go again. Inhale, lift, lift. Fill the spine, fill the spine, fill the spine. And come back to standing. I like to think about the spine like an inflatable toy. As you inhale, it kind of fills. And you stand up again. Riles and files are great tools for balancing. So I'm going to come into a couple of balancing postures now. So I'm just stepping side to side, and I'm going to step onto my right foot. Now, I talked before about the inside lines of the feet being parallel. So make them parallel again. Now, if you lift that left foot, can you keep that parallel? Have you even thought about it before? Here's why I suggest it. Because it's forcing you to engage both files. Both files are extending down. We're not just focusing on one leg. Everybody has to help. So inhale. Both lines of energy, both riles extend up. Exhale, both files extend down. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, lengthen down. One more nice deep breath. As you exhale, just step side to side. So we can do all kinds of fancy postures here. And maybe we will one day. I can't do them, so I can't demonstrate. I'm going to come on my left leg, though. And again, our goal, my goal, is to help you connect with your body. What you do, where you take that is up to you, but it seems to me like it could be very, very unlimited. So stepping onto your left foot, lifting and thinking about, can I line them up? Maybe look down. Inhale, lengthening up the riles. Exhale, lengthening down the files. And maybe inhale, look straight ahead. Exhale, draw the eyes down. I don't know. Just trying to see. One last time, inhale. As you exhale, we'll step side to side, getting a little bit of blood in that leg. So it's not easy to balance on one foot because you have a lot of weight on one foot. I'm going to come into another very basic posture, which is Virksasana, or tree pose. In tree pose, we have multiple options. You can put your toe, and ideally we want to make a 90-degree angle with the feet. Now, we can leave the toe right here, or I can just lift my toe. Or I can put it on the inside of my calf, or put it on the inside of my thigh. But wherever I put it, tree is a little trickier because now I've got a line going out and in. So while both lines are directing down, the bend in that knee is making this a little trickier. Inhaling up the riles, exhaling down the files. On your next exhalation, we'll step down. If you fall out, just get right back in. Lucky for you, nobody's watching you fall out. You're not falling out in public like I am. It's okay. So come on to the left leg again. Again, take a look at your feet. We want to turn that knee, that right knee to the outside, and you can rest it on your heel and just lift your toe if you want to. Or bring it to the inside of your calf or the inside of your thigh. And I will say, it is always balancing and talking. Oh, I've been teaching. I always hated balancing when I taught class. When I used to teach class. Before, I used to take it with you. Inhale up the riles. Exhale down the files. And at the end of your exhale, can you press on the tops of the inside 2.5 toes? Can you remember to do that? If I get it right, it feels so stable. Your next exhalation, go ahead and step side to side. From here, we're going to come into a warrior posture, which is just a lunge, Virabhadrasana 1. If I expand or spread my legs, I want to think about a string tied to my wrist. That string should hit the outside ankle bone. And that's kind of tells me how far I want my legs to be. Once I get my legs to that width, then I'm going to take a look at the inside lines of my feet and see if they're parallel. And if they're not, okay, I'm going to try to do my best. And this posture is simply called 5-pointed star. So we're inhaling at an angle. The lines merge and come down and split again. So inhale, that was a hairpin. Exhale. Now again, inhale, lift with the buttocks, lift with the lower back, the internal lines. Exhale, draw the chest down, draw the pubic bone down, draw the knees down. Now this is a pretty easy posture. You don't have to think about balancing. Of course, the longer we hold it, the trickier it becomes. And I would encourage you to try to hold it a little longer for the purpose of inducing a little anxiety. I can't do it. I can't do it. I mean, really, we're standing here. Of course we can. But our first thought is, no, I can't possibly hold that posture any longer. And to that, I would say, what else can you incorporate? Can you incorporate and lift through the backs of your calves and then ground down on your exhalation through the front of your calves? Or lift through the bottoms of the insides of the heels and ground down through the tops of those middle 2.5 toes. Or lift the spine between the shoulder blades. And exhale, ground down. 2 more. Engage. What can you engage? Pull your resources together. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. Now take a moment here. Feel how good it feels to have the blood rushing into the body, taking away all that waste product. So when we're in that panic mode, We've got a lot of resources. And if we're focused, we can find them. And I feel like not only does it help you with the posture, but I feel like it distracts you a little bit from the pain too. So from here, we're going to pivot the feet over to the right. So my front foot is going to aim directly straight. My back foot is at 45-degree angle. Again, establish your lines. Rear internal line of energy all the way up. Front external line of energy, ground down. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, as you ground down, start at your pubic bones. Send energy from your pubic bones to your knees, and from your knees down to your ankles. Inhale up, the backs of the insides of the legs to the hips, circle down. Inhale, lengthen through the back, just up to the hips, and circle down. Now we'll add the left arm. We just extended that line. That gives you a little more to think about now. Inhale up. The line, take it all the way up to the crown of your head and back down. We'll incorporate arms another day. Now, even though this opposite arm isn't doing anything, can you still engage it? And if you want, you can extend it, which might even be easier because now we're extending up both lines and extending down, extending up both lines, extending down both lines. One more nice deep breath in. As we exhale, we're going to open to the front in Warrior Two. And in Warrior Two, a little trickier here. Now we've got a lot more going on. We've got a bent knee, we have a straight leg. Let's just start with the legs. Inhale up the rhino. Exhale down the file, and you've got an angle that you got to go through. It kind of breaks your concentration. Let's take it up to the shoulders now. Inhale up the rear internal energy or line of energy. Exhale down the front. I find as I'm in these warrior postures, for me, it's extremely important to stay connected with those middle 2.5 toes. One more nice deep breath in. As we exhale, relax the arms, straighten out the leg, and just pivot to the front. Again, feel that lovely feeling of the blood coming into the arms. And it is a lovely feeling when you work like that. As muscles get fatigued, the tissue is damaged. There are micro tears. And that's what creates that waste. And that's what begins to burn. But your muscles are contracted. So you can't bring new blood in until you let go. And the training effect is interesting because you will find that the more you do this, the longer you're going to be able to do it for 2 reasons. The micro tears aren't going to occur as quickly, but the second reason is that you're going to be able to endure more of that stress than you did in the beginning. So let's pivot around to the opposite side. Front foot points forward, back foot is at a 45-degree angle. And let's just start with our rear, our riles and files up to the hips, down to the insides, tops of the inside 2.5 toes. Just a reminder that in fact it really is the tops of 2.5 toes. There are 2 nerves in that middle toe. So we've circled through the hips. Let's go ahead and, if you want, extend that right arm. Maybe extend the left arm. I will say that if extending both arms prevents you from staying focused on what you're doing, if all you're thinking is, oh, this hurts, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But it might not be the most productive way for you to manage discomfort, anxiety. Perhaps you back off a little bit so that you can focus. Or you incorporate more of your resources. Lift up with the insides of the backs of the heels. Exhale, push down through the tops of the inside 2.5 toes. See if that helps. What about lifting up through each side of the sacral spine? And then exhaling from the navel down through the pubic bones. Inhale, sacral spine. Exhale, pubic bones. Circle it around. One more deep breath in. As we exhale, we're going to open up to the front. Warrior 2. I'm going to encourage you to rotate your arms just to hit the muscles slightly differently. Notice when you do that, though, you may, oh, geez, there's a little bit of a stretch through those files. So I've opened up the arms. I'm going to lean in and I'm going to rotate my head backward this time. Just, you know what? I don't want to do that because I don't want to get things off. So as we inhale, up the riles, down the files. Maybe the easiest thing is the core. Up the riles, down the files. And then add your legs on. Up through the backs of the heels, all the way up to the shoulders. Circle back down. And again, I'm finding myself having to focus on the toes. I don't know why. That's my thing. You'll find what your thing is, though. One more time in. And one more time in. And as we exhale, relax the arms. Pivot the body to the front. And you can just walk your feet together. From here, we'll come down to the floor. One final posture, Baddha Konasana. It's a good closing posture. Now, we're going to start with the riles and the files. And we're just going to start with the backs of the knees. So I'm going to go from the backs of my knees around my spine, circle back in front, and go back in my. So I've got a so kind of a little L-shaped oval. If that's difficult, just inhale up the backs of your heels. As you exhale down, can you press, ground down through the thighs? Maybe add the shins if that's helpful. Ground down. As you inhale, open, widen through the tailbone, through the back. Exhale, ground down through the front. I'm finding my sits bones were a little bit tucked under there. And this is a good one to practice that pelvic floor exercise. And I really encourage men as well as women. Men, you think you don't have to exercise your pelvic floor. You really do. If you want to be strong, if you want to stand straight, if you want to play tennis and golf and all of these things, and you can't support your core, you're compromising your talent. So try it out. And as you exhale, lift the marble. And another way of thinking about that is thinking about the idea that these front internal energy lines turn inward. So that pelvic floor is turning upward in the front. And then we relax and lift on the inhalation. Exhale, turn inward on the exhalation. One last time in. Exhale, make this your best effort here. And relax. We'll come down to the floor for final Shavasana. Final Shavasana after those postures should feel pretty good because you probably built up a lot of lactic acid in your muscles and it didn't all get cleaned out. When you lay here like this, your body probably feels a little heavier. You got a lot of blood flowing into your arms trying to get all that stuff out. Your body is directing blood to all the places where those little micro tears occurred. So see if you can feel that. Do you feel areas of warmth, sensations? Interesting. I feel that areas of warmth in the backs of the outsides of my calves, not so much the insides. Again, I can't explain these things, but I think there's a tremendous benefit in just noticing what's there. It's beneficial for your body. It's beneficial for your mind. It's beneficial for your mood. It's beneficial for your spirit. And where else maybe do you feel sensations, excess blood? It might feel a little swollen. You might feel a pulse. Might feel extra warm. Or you just might feel extra fatigue. Once you find a place, it doesn't really matter where, something that you can connect with though, some feeling where the feeling's pretty noticeable. Just watch. See what happens. What's the first point at which you feel whatever sensation it is begin to change? Did it change to another sensation? Is it fading? Is it moving? Is it continuing to change? The body is objective. The blood goes where it needs to go. And when the job is done, it goes to the next place. It doesn't get messed up. It doesn't stay too long. It doesn't leave before the job's done. And this too is a way of seeing the world. What is in front of you? What needs to be done right now? Nobody asked whether you wanted to or not. Nobody asked if it's good or bad, or you like it or you don't like it. What is in front of you? And when you're done, move on to the next thing. We've reached the end of our time. You can bring yourself back from Shavasana in whatever way feels comfortable for you. Whenever you're ready, gently roll to one side and bring yourself back to an upright position. I want to emphasize again that I do this because I need this. I don't feel like I have anything to preach. I can't tell people what to do because I don't know myself. My goal is to communicate my experience and communicate what I've learned in hopes that it might help. So if it ever comes across offensively or that I'm telling you how to do things, I want to apologize in advance. And if that happened today already, I want to apologize after the fact, because that is not the intent. The intent is to encourage you to find out what's right for you and to enjoy finding out what's right for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this practice was helpful for you, and I hope that you'll join me tomorrow at 7 a.m. for Status Hearing. Namaste.